Are you worried about what the real estate market is doing? Are you a buyer that's worried about interest rates being too high? Are you a seller that wants to sell their home but is worried that there's not enough buyers out there and that the market is too slow? Well, today we're going to talk about housing market news today and give you a market update. This will give you a chance to know that now is still great time to buy and sell. Hi, I'm Laura Clute with Ozark Realty, and I work with lakefront sellers who are animal owners. Most of the information I'm going to share with you today is from the chief economist Lawrence Yoon at the National Association of Realtors. We recently had a convention the middle of November, and so this is information that he shared with us, and so I'm passing it on to you. We'll also give you some more details from our specific market, since a lot of this information is from the National Association, so it's over the whole country, but it gives you an idea of what's going on overall. We'll start out with the National Association of Realtors slides. And the first thing that he talked about was the economic recession and whether or not we're in it. By definition, a recession is 2 quarters of decline. And so obviously back in 2020, it started to slow down even in the first quarter, but then we really dropped off when COVID really hit the United States. But we bounced back quickly in the third quarter, and then we kind of normalized for a couple quarters. But then the first and second quarter of 2022, we were down. Thankfully, we've gone back up in the third quarter. So pending home sales index is a large indicator of the home and real estate market. So this is where we're supposed to be. And you can see back in March of 2020, we fell off the wagon. And we're way down here, but as according to that first slide, you can see that we bounced back pretty quickly. And actually the peak was back here, this is where we are now. So we peaked way back in 2020, but we had a good ride and we were back to kind of normal in the spring of 2021, and we went back up in the fall of 2021. But our pending home sales are way down here in September of 22. That just means that we have less homes on the market to sell, and that's one reason why the pending home sales is so much farther down. A good indicator of the market is price reductions and how much people are getting off the price when they make an offer. So I tell this to my sellers every time. The longer it stays on the market, the greater reduction you're going to have. So the important thing is to price it right the first time. So different things talking about, even 58% of homes are shaving it from their list price when they are actually under contract. So this is days on market. This is active listings that do not have an accepted offer that people are reducing their price. After 7 days, it's about 5%, all the way to about 30, even 60 days, it's about 5%. But once you get to 90 days, you get up to 7, even 10%. People are also still reducing their prices on pending listings. So now your home is under contract, but you want to maybe get some backup offers, make sure it gets to closing. So then we're still about 5% through 30 days, but then as you get on, again, it gets closer to almost 10 and then over 10%. So these are people that actually have their home under contract and they're still reducing their price to make sure that they have someone that closes. Lastly, this is after it's actually sold and how much percent the seller decided to take off their list price to get their home sold. Again, after 0 to 7 days, it's still only about 5%, but once you get up to 4 months, they're taking 15% off of their list price. So just keep in mind that even if a price is reduced, sometimes sellers are willing to negotiate more, but the list price is the only price that you know a seller will take. So this talks again about how many actual houses are active. The last slide was pending, meaning under contract. This is actual inventory, actually active. So again, this goes back 20 years, 2000 to 2022. So you can see we're about 2 million units is kind of the normal, and we gradually increased over the last 20 years. We peaked at 2008. That's after the crash. We had tons of homes on the market, and they were on the market for years, many of them. But you can see every year we kind of go through this rise and fall. Spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. So, but it did peak in 2008, and then we kind of normalized back here in the 15, 16, 17. And then as the market started to pick up, we get lower and lower inventory because we're not getting enough houses built. And of course, with the market change, you're going to get foreclosures. Back in 2010, that's when I started in the business, there were several foreclosure homes. This is a percentage of the homes available for sale. But obviously they're peaked, and now it's very difficult to find a foreclosure. Even after COVID, I expected a lot of foreclosures But a lot of those forbearance plans really work because there's very few foreclosure properties out there. There are some, but very few. Just to give you an idea, that most of that information so far is over years. So now we're getting more details into right now, November 22. Like I said, this was a conference that was from mid-November, so they're not going to have the whole year. But just as a percentage versus last year, the median sales price did go up 6%. The number of homes sold decreased though, almost 30%. The number of homes sold almost 30% decreased, and new contracts almost 40% decreased. So that's talking about new pending home sale. Like there might have been stuff under contract at the end of the year that closed in the new year. Okay, so again, we're talking about this is what the seller agreed to sell it at, what they had it advertised at, but what they actually sold for was about 4% less. That's pretty average in our market as well. Days on market is 22 days. This is 21 versus 22. So again, it's getting closer to 30 days and a little bit longer here now. Active listings, we're still up 30% on our number of listings, but new listings is down 20%. So we're not getting a whole lot of people listing their houses for sale right now. This continues to be a big problem. Single family housing starts, that means that they're actually building new homes. So you can see back in 2000, we were quite a bit high. It peaked about 2005 in how many units, but we've continually gone down and not really increased. Very, very, very slightly increased. So we're about at 2007 rates, so before the crash. So we're slowly getting up there, but we actually declined in 2022. That might be due to some of the supply and demand issues, but still, continues to be a problem that we're not building enough houses. As I mentioned earlier, we all know the interest rates went up to about 7%, and the 30-year fixed-year mortgage rate continues to go down over the years. And of course, we bottomed out at 3% earlier in 2022, but now we're back up to 7%. The rates I saw this morning were about 6.5%, and it sounds like the feds are not going to be increasing rates as drastically as they have been. So, but you can see that we're still well below. This is 1990 when they were up to 10%, and you know that they were higher than that before that in the 80s. So overall, we're really not that bad at about 6 and 7%. Yes, it's higher than 3%, which was really great. I had a really good refi rate myself, but keep in mind that rates will likely go down, and you can refi it then and bring your rate down. It doesn't have to be for the full 30 years of your mortgage. This is another concern to many people. The median income to buy a middle family home, middle income home, has increased drastically. So again, of the last 20 years, in 2000, a family only had to earn $40,000 to buy their first home. And now we've jumped up over to $80,000. That's more than double in 20 years. And more than double, even almost double compared to last year. So that's the reason that they've been pushing to raise the interest rates because of inflation, is because we've got to bring that down so first-time home buyers can get in the market. So you can see this really hasn't changed that amount that much, but then 2022 just, prices were really high. This slide kind of says the same thing. First-time buyer share back in 1981, it was almost 50%. We dropped off a little bit, probably because of interest rates, but then we pretty much normalized. And then in 2010, it was 50% again. That's when they did that first-time home buyer tax rebate. So that really pushed us up to 50% again. But you can see we've been continuing to fall down, and we're all the way down to 26% in 2022. That's not good. We need to be getting our first-time home buyers into homes. So here's some prediction that Lawrence made, Mr. Yoon made about the market. So back in medium home prices and what it looks like in the future. Back in 1970, $23,000. I wish I could have bought a house back then, but I wasn't born yet. So, and slowly increased, 20, 60, 90, 150, 2010, 173, 2020, 300,000. That's a little bit higher than it is here. But he's saying in 10 years, that prices, these are just numbers. I don't think those are actual predictions. But the point is that the medium home price is going to increase just because that's what happens in inflation. You can see it happening here. It's going to happen here. That's important information for home buyers. Hopefully the rates of pay increase with that so that more people can afford a home. As if inflation continues, buyers will have less heavy debt. So if you buy a home today at, we'll just say $350,000, they're saying that's the average home price at 7%, this is going to be your mortgage payment. This is your mortgage payment for 30 years if you do a 30-year fixed rate. So this payment is always going to be the same over that whole 30 years unless you decide to refi. They estimate that your salary will increase by 5% every year. If you're in a good career, then you probably can figure that. So by 10 years, even 8 years, you're going to be have 50% more income, and then that means less of your salary is going to go to that. So this is a little high. You don't necessarily want that much of your income going toward your salary. It should be about 25, maybe 30%, but now you're down to 24%. So that's something to think about as you look at that 7% interest number and think that's a little bit scary, that you will have the option to increase your income as well as refi and reduce your interest rate. So again, more on the forecast nationally. So in 2019, it's saying that we didn't increase in sales over 2018. So that's how many houses sold. The price went up 5%, even though we stayed at the same number of units, the price went up 5%. And in 2020, we had 5% more houses sold, as well as another 10% increase. So that's a total of 15% increase on home price. And in 2021, we even went up more houses sold, and the home price went up even more. So now we're talking about 25% increase, and they say 2022 forecast because we haven't finished the year yet. But they're actually saying the number of houses sold actually went down because we had such a drastic interest rate increase the third and fourth quarter, but the home prices still went up. So now we're talking about 10, 20, 37% price increase over the last 4 years. So that's a lot. But they are forecasting in 2023 that we will go down in number of houses sold, but not as drastically as 2022. And prices probably won't increase a whole lot, but that's good that it's not sort of negative. And then 2024, they're saying that number of houses sold will go back up again, and an even higher increase in home price. So that's just giving you an idea. That's nationally. This is strictly from our MLS. I did a search of homes sold from September, October, and November. So I did this earlier this week, so it's not quite through the end of the month of November, but it's pretty close. And so on the top half, you'll see what's actually currently for sale. So this is just Cherokee Village. I simplified the market as much as possible. So altogether, we have about 50 houses for sale in all of Cherokee Village. This is only houses. This is not vacant land, commercial, multifamily. It does include townhouses. So the average list price is 183, and the average days on market is 90, almost 100. And so we have both average and median. I'm not going to talk about both of those. We'll just go with average. There's only one bedroom right now. I'm thinking that's probably on the lake or the river, but it's been on the market for a while. No 1 bedrooms. That was 1 0 bedroom. 2 bedrooms. There's about 27 active, so most of the houses for sale in Cherokee Village right now are 2 bedrooms. The average list price is 135, and the average days on market is 100. 3 bedrooms is a little bit less, 15 3 bedrooms. Average list price is 183, and they're at 68 days per market. So it kind of gives you an idea of what the market time is right now in Cherokee Village. And at 4 bedrooms, there's only 6 active. I'm pretty sure most of those are large homes, golf course homes, lakefront homes, and that's why the list price is so much higher. But they're still on the market about 77 days, over 2 months. And then this down here talks about sold. Again, we get average and median. I won't talk about both of those. But right now, so this says total listed. So there are 44 homes listed in the 3-month period, September, October, November 22. 38 of them, of the 44, were sold. So that's 86% sold. And the average list price was $165, and the average sold price was $160. So that means 90, almost 97%. So basically, that's saying that the sellers took a 3% reduction on their price. So that's pretty good. It's not 100, but it's 3%. That's not bad. And then we didn't have any 0 or 1 bedrooms. And then the 2 bedrooms is about the same number of houses that are active sold in that 3-month time period, which correlates to the 90-day time on the market. So 23 2 bedrooms were listed, 20 sold, so that means 3 did not sell. And then again, that's 87% of the homes listed sold. at about 135,000 is what they were listed at, and about 132,000 is what they sold at. So again, that's 97%. So that's again really good. Now it does show that 13% expired. That's that 3 that expired, and they were listed about 110,000. For 3 bedrooms, there's 17 that were listed and 17 sold. So all the 3 bedrooms sold in that 90-day time period. Average list price was $184. Average sold price was $176. So it's a little bit less, 96%. Still really good percentage of list to sold. And there was a couple that expired that must have been the ones that were listed before this time period, and they were in the 227 range. There was 4 bedrooms listed, but only 1 sold, so that's 25%. These again are probably Lakehomes because it's listed for $439,500 and sold for $441,500. So that's over 100%. There's probably some closing costs in there, maybe furniture. And again, one of them expired that was at $85,000. I hope you enjoyed this video about housing market news today and Cherokee Village market data. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, please feel free to reach out by email, text, or phone. In the meantime, check out this video, Selling Your House While Living in It. See you next time.